Good morning, Facebook Live. I am so excited to be here back in my bedroom talking to you guys again today. So it's Friday morning, which means Q&A, and I didn't get any questions this week. You guys, send me your questions. I want to answer them for you. I promise I will do my best to give you a good answer, and I won't call you out. If you don't want me to say who it is, you can send me a private message and I will base a talk on whatever your question is so that you can get some help here. This is my way of just giving back as much information as I possibly can. Trust me, if it's just going in my brain and not going anywhere else, it's not doing anybody any favors. So ask away so that I can give you some kind of help with whatever it is that you're struggling with. Because I didn't get any questions this week and I still wanted to talk to you guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I have been dealing with, kind of not struggling with. I don't want to say that it's a struggle. I'm not struggling, but I lost what my normal routine for the morning when I had my children. So before I had kids, like when I was in high school, when I was in college, I got up every morning and I did the same things. I would, brush my hair, brush my teeth, make my bed, get dressed, go eat breakfast, do all of that kind of those steps in a row. And then if you're a mom, you get it, or a dad, I guess too, that once you have children, you are at the mercy of whatever they decide they're going to do that day. So if that means they decide to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning with the flu, you're not going to get to go brush your hair, brush your teeth, take a shower, go to, do all your things. You're going to be running around. So that kind of puts a kink in our spokes and really stops that forward progress, and we get a little bit lost. And that's what I've been dealing with over the last 6 years. I went from a very, very structured environment, school and graduate school, and then working as a professor at the university. So I had a very structured way I had to do things. And now being home more with my family, that structure has gotten lost. And so over the last couple of years, I've been really, really desperately trying to establish some sort of morning routine, and even if it got messed up, some kind of, easy, these are the things that I can follow that I can get going right away. And one of the reasons I needed to do this recently, over the last year or so, I started getting anxious first thing when I would wake up in the morning. I feel stressed, I don't know what to do. And I think what was happening is my body wants to wake up really quickly. Hi, welcome. I want to get that energy going right away. And so my body is surging, ready to start the day, ready to start moving. So I would try to incorporate these routines like journaling and meditation. And I read the book, the Miracle Morning book, which is amazing. If you haven't read it before, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. He also has a podcast. It's amazing. So just basically talking about the importance of getting up and taking care of yourself and giving yourself a little bit of an investment in your personal development. So I would try these things like reading and journaling and all of that, which I love to do throughout the day, but it's a very calming, kind of soothing activity. And as soon as I wake up in the morning, I want to jump up and get started and start doing things. I immediately start forming all the things that need to get done during the day, where the kids need to go, where my husband's going, all the necessary steps that need to happen in the day. So for me to sit down, it's very hard for me to get to focus. I can get into a meditative state, but not until after the morning things are done. So I've been struggling with kind of waking up hazily walking downstairs and not really having any kind of plan or action for the morning. So for the last week, and really today's only day 3, so I'm not tooting my own horn here, but for the last week, I have been getting up and trying to follow these steps. So I make my bed first thing, because I hate making my bed. And so if I just do it the first thing before I even have my eyes fully open yet, then I just don't even realize I'm doing it. And then later it's just done, kind of feeling like it was magically done. I don't know. So I make the bed and then get dressed, brush my teeth, brush my hair, wash my face, kind of self-care, which is not a whole lot. Maybe it takes me about 5 minutes to do all of that. And then my dogs are usually crying. So, and this is early, this is 6:30, because that's what time my little puppy starts crying at. So then I go downstairs and take the dogs for a walk, which gets me outside, connected to the earth, breathing fresh air, moving, And I'm doing a chore. I'm taking care of my dogs, which was going to need to be done anyways. So that makes me feel like, oh yes, the multitasker mania craziness inside of me is like, you're doing so many things that need to be done and also self-care. So like that felt amazing, feels amazing. So take the dogs for a walk. Then when we come back, I go clean up the backyard from the dogs from the day before, and that is connecting me back with my backyard. So in just the last couple of days, taking that 2 or 3 minutes that takes me in the backyard, I've cleaned up my roses, I've trimmed back all of the plants that needed to be trimmed back, created and like started to kind of create an idea for a little play space back there for myself, kind of like more of a zen area, which is great because I haven't connected with my backyard ever in the 6 years that I've lived here. So I feel really good about that. And then come in, make my coffee, make my breakfast, and start taking care of my kids' breakfast needs, because at this point they're up and ready to do all of that. And that has been feeling amazing. And during that time when I walk the dogs, I'm setting my intentions for the day. I'm thinking about all the things I want to get done, but in a peaceful way, because I'm already doing the action. I'm walking, I'm moving around, and I'm getting that activity that I need. So I feel really good about that. It's kind of crazy. I've been trying to do this morning routine thing for so long. I think I read that Hal Elrod book probably like 3 years ago, and I'm just now trying to figure out how to incorporate that into my life. And I found that around like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, that's when I feel my best to like journal or read or meditate or breathe or kind of take that time for myself, because I feel peaceful at that time. Like I've gotten all the morning tasks done and I really don't need to do anything for like another hour or so, and that's the time that I found works best for me mentally to kind of slow down. And that helps me first thing in the morning when I was feeling before like, oh, I freaking suck at this morning routine thing, like I can never just sit still and like not think for 5 minutes, like everybody else on the planet takes 20 minutes to wake up, and somehow I just want to like zip out of bed like a crazy person. So I never felt like I could get that part of my day done. I never felt like I could do the journaling and all the things that needed to get done, because I couldn't do it in the morning. It just didn't fit with me. So I wanted to do this as a recommendation to start looking at the things in your life that maybe if you added them to your morning, and kind of like regimented it, almost made it part of your routine and made it a habit, and do it every day, at least for a month to solidify the habit. And I'm only on day 3, so I've got 27 days to go. We can keep track of my progress of my new habit as we go on these Friday videos. But I wanted you to know that the morning routine doesn't have to look like journaling and reading and doing your morning exercises and doing all that self-care in the morning. You can do those kinds of things all throughout the day and still get to kind of check that box. But your morning routine should be something that helps set your day up to be living more intentionally, rather than just kind of like bumping through life or putting out fires, rather going, having enough energy and starting the day right with an idea in mind of where you're going. So when I go on the walk with my dogs in the morning, I leave my phone at home, I don't listen to any music, and I just try to think through exactly how the day is going to go. So what do I want to get done, and what the best thing that could possibly happen in that day, and I try to think all the way through to what I'm going to be grateful for when I go to bed that night. Like, what about this day is going to make me feel like I succeeded, something that I can say that I was grateful for. And honestly, sometimes that at that point in the night, I'm grateful that I just like put pants on that day, or like I'm grateful that I don't know, ate a meal or 3, my children ate a meal or 3. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but setting your day, setting those intentions for the day, and really seeing it through. So don't just like, I have this to-do list and I have a million things. Those to-do lists are not reasonable, right? Like, we all know this. You never finish them. Has anybody ever finished a to-do list? For me, I know the minute I write that, all the things down on a list, the first thing I want to do is take a nap. So we all know that that's unrealistic, but setting some intentions for the day, like, okay, everybody's gonna get where they need to go on time, the meals are gonna be made, there's going to be food in the fridge at some point, you know, a couple of, you know, set those goals up and maybe even kind of see it played out and see it all played out the way you want it to be. Maybe even picture the best parking spot at the grocery store or the gym or whatever, wherever you're going. And then really start to think like, okay, what am I going to be grateful for tonight? So if you can add that into your morning routine, just kind of living a little bit more intentionally, whether it's like when you walk the dogs, like I'm doing it, or before you even put your feet on the ground, when you're just laying in bed and the alarm clock just went off, spend 2 or 3 minutes taking that time to say, okay, this is where I want the day to go, this is how great it's gonna be. I mean, you all know the minute you wake up in the morning and you just like, ugh, another frickin' Monday. Like, you're gonna be pissed off all day because every single thing you think about is gonna be like, oh, it's because it's Monday. But if you woke up and you were like, okay, I see the day going in this direction, these things are going to get done, and tonight when I go to bed I'm going to be really grateful that these things happened, and that really sets the day up for just like a phenomenal experience. So set up some sort of morning routine, get yourself some kind of sequence of the day, like this is how I'm going to start. And it doesn't have to look traditional or like meditation or even yoga or exercise in the morning. You could do that at some point in the day, but do those few things like I mentioned earlier in the chat, and make sure you're taking care of yourself in some way, you know, every morning, and start the day out with that really good positive thought. Okay, so morning routine, important. Get one, make one. It took me years and years and years, so don't feel obligated to do it right away. But start writing things down, and I really want you to tell me what you're doing. So if you're already got an established morning routine or you already do certain things every day, tell me what was the most important thing about your morning routine. If the thing that you couldn't live without doing, if you wake up in the morning and you don't do these things, it means that your day is going to be harder. I want to know what those are, because I'm still very new to this and I'm still trying to learn and do what's best for me in my day too. So if you have any advice, send it my way. What's your morning routine like? You can put it in the comments, you can email me, whatever you want to do. And send me your questions, you guys. This is meant for you. This is your time. So I'm taking this 20 minutes or whatever out of every Friday morning, and I want it to be useful for you. So send me your questions if you have any concerns about anything, and let me know what's going on. Podcast updates. Podcast is live on iTunes, and I will be updating more as there are more episodes, and we'll have a bigger launch later on next month. And the first week of August, the editor gets the book, so it's already almost onto its 3rd phase, and we're getting closer and closer to that December 1st published date. I can't even believe it. It's amazing. Okay, send me your questions. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful weekend, and I will see you all next Friday right here on my big comfy chair. Bye.